all out. South Africa 24 for 1 after a good opening partnership. Jacques Rudolph looked promising, didn't he?
He did. He played beautifully, and then a great delivery by Harris that got through. Just pushing it up there. It is perhaps not going far enough forward, but a wonderful delivery from Ryan Harris.
And this is how Hashim Amla went in the first innings. This was after lunch, and this is where it all started. Around about 1:15, decision review system had a lot to say about this, and was eventually given out LBW.
I thought he was unlucky there. Looked a bit high, but there we go. It showed that it was hitting the top of the stumps. There were quite a few of those this afternoon.
And Jacques Callis, the one delivery that was short and picked up a wicket, shows how much pace this wicket really did pick up.
Yes, he wasn't in control of that shot, and there, the hotspot shows a bit of a snick. And there we go, Graham Smith again with his close grip. A bit of bounce again, as you've mentioned, and just chopped it onto his stumps like he has done so many times in his career. But I thought Graham's batted well. He was batting well in the second innings as well.
And now we get on to where South Africa simply folded. And it was with full deliveries. Callis and Smith went to shortish deliveries, but after this, Peter, a bit of seam, bit of swing, pitching the ball up.
Good strategy by the Aussie bowlers, and they would have worked every batsman out. And there's again, A.B. de Villiers coming forward, a bit unlucky, but again, hitting the pad first.
Pad bat, and that's why I like the decision review system. Without it, it wouldn't have been able to be given.
Well, very difficult for batters these days, you know.
Yeah, it is.
We've got away with a lot in my time with Devo. Mark Boucher also perhaps not getting forward and playing across the line a bit. Perhaps a soft dismissal there, and Shane Watson getting 5 wickets. Mark Boucher would have been disappointed with that. He, I'm sure, wants to get in there and score more runs.
And 5 wickets in just 20 balls. Then this Vernon Philander dismissal. He is a batting all-rounder. He can make a difference, but his batting has taken a bit of a knock in the last couple of seasons. His bowling has certainly picked up. That's how he fell to Ryan Harris, caught by Ricky Ponting. The 9th wicket to go was a lazy run out by Morne Morkel.
Yes, poor cricket there, and probably just a little bit lack of attention to detail. Didn't respond quick enough to the run and run out. So Pity Morne was definitely worth at least 20 runs. There we are. And a great throw from Michael Clark. Up until that stage, everything was going Michael Clark's way.
Yeah, Peter Siddle, fantastic throw. Picked the right end as well. Morne Morkel very lazy. And this is how it all wrapped up. Dale Steyn gone. Imran Tahir stranded on the other end for 5. So 96 all out. And the lead then was at 188. Australia were in the ascendancy altogether. Who knew what was to come? And it was an innings of madness, because Australia came out. You'd think, being in enough changes, really, you know, they cock a hoop, they're going to come out, they're going to play positively. They know that they've bowled really well. The wicket didn't really have too many demons, but to be 47 all out and to beat 21 for 9, that's unheard of.
Unbelievable. I thought that's where Graham Smith did well as a leader. He rallied his troops. You saw them on the field before they came out to bowl. And perhaps Australia just relaxed for that sort of change over a 10-minute period.
And perhaps they thought that the pitch had to settle down, and it most certainly didn't.
Yeah, again, I think South Africa were lucky that they didn't send that to the review, and I think it was going over the top, but it
was going over the top.
There we go.
This is one of the few ones that wasn't reviewed and was shown to be different to what the umpire thought. Ponting stepped well across. Philander, I'm going to take absolutely nothing away from him. What a bowling spell by him. Vernon Philander, in fact, folks, he picked up 8 wickets on debut and really made the difference to South Africa. 8 for 78 is a match return. That's how he got Ricky Ponting. This was also reviewed, but those are always tough. Sometimes at slip, you don't know where they carry.
Yeah, they were a marginal decision. You can't quite see if it did carry or not, but obviously he was given out. And again, Vernon Philander brilliant with his bowling. Morne Morkel also came back with a beautiful length. His length was much better. And then, of course, Mark Cassie getting caught first ball after tea.
And Morne Morkel was in a hat-trick.
Absolutely, and a good catch by Ashley Prince to redeem himself after his first ball duck. So again, Graham Smith able to keep his troops together, and wickets just fell regularly. 21 for 9. This was unbelievable.
And this is on the way to 21 to 9. Vernon Philander picking up one of his 8 wickets. It was Michael Clark, the big dog, stuck with the umpire's call. He was given out, and that's why this was just bad cricket altogether. Brad Haddad needs to go and sit in the corner and have a word with himself after that.
Yeah, I think that's what Alan Border was. Had a nice chat with Alan Border, the legendary Australian captain, and he was saying perhaps a few demons in the Aussie heads when they batted, and interesting philosophy from Alan Border. And there we go, a good catch by Graham Smith to redeem himself.
He dropped Phil Hughes a little bit earlier.
So again, a fine length delivery from Morné Morkel, and unbelievable that the Australian number 10 and 11 would get top score.
Yeah, well, nice to also see that Morné Morkel bowled a little bit of a fuller length. Philander was cashing in on the fact that Australia, the lower order particularly, were playing shots. The difference between this innings and the first innings was that they didn't hit the ball into the gaps. They were actually picking fielders when the ball was going into the air. That is Sean Marsh. He's got a back strain, so he is not going to be on the field. This is why he batted so low. He wasn't on the field all day today. Prize that wasn't given out by the umpires, so it was a matter that the third umpire had to do it, and this is the way it ended. For the 8th time in Test history, the number 11 top scored. The last time that actually happened was on this ground. It was Steve Harmison in 2009. So Nathan Lyon top scoring there for Australia in their second innings with 14. And Peter, so 236, that's what South Africa have to get. You look at the two scores, 96 and 47, and you're thinking, well, you can't get 200 on this. You're probably not going to get 100 on it. The first innings that went at 96, just over 23 overs. Then, in an hour and a half, in just under 18 overs, you all bowled out for 47. And then Hashim Amla, Jacques Rudolph, and Graham Smith make it look like it's a totally different wicket.
Yes, I think the texture of the wicket does change here. As we know, on the third day, it's always best for batting. We've said this before, even on the first day. And so it's proving. And, of course, a lot of rolling today. The heavy roller twice for Graham Smith and twice for Michael Clarke. So you'll see that tomorrow morning, if they can survive and not lose too many wickets in the first hour tomorrow, you'll see that I'm predicting that that South Africa have a good chance of reaching 236, and if they keep batting like they have done in the last hour, with the potential that is that exists in the batting order, it should be okay.
Well, the only wicket to fall was that of Jacques Rudolph. Again, he got settled. He got to the teens once again. Nice delivery that just nipped away from him, and Siddle picked up the wicket at 27.
Yeah, it's just gone across him a bit, and sometimes Jacques doesn't get his weight into the ball. He keeps his head back a bit, but he looked good, and hopefully for Jacques, he'll bat nicely and get some big runs at the Wanderers Test.
Yeah, just let's get back into Jacques Rudolph. Going away from the international scene and then coming back, I suppose it's a bit of a baptism of fire once again, because you're starting your career all over again, aren't you, Peter? So this must be a fairly hard and a tough test for him. Let's take nothing away from how intense Test cricket really is.
Oh, indeed. It's a totally different sort of frame, to come from county cricket and franchise cricket. Suddenly you're playing against a top cricketing nation like Australia at Sahara Park, Newlands, and it's just. But he looked good, and I've no doubt that he'll score in time. And just technically, if he can just sort out one or two things. But nice to see him back, because I think he's a quality player.
Now, there's a famous saying in cricket that says the first session is important. You're saying that day 3, though, we've got the wicket that is best to bat on. South Africa require 155 more runs to win this game. It could have been very different. South Africa could have only had 8 wickets in hand. Hassi dropped Hashim Amla, who's now on, he's just on 29. Smith is on 37 not out. Just a correction to that. And at 81 for 155 would win. Is the last chance for Australia the first hour tomorrow morning?
I would say their big chance, not the last chance, because anything can happen. We've seen it. But they need to strike pretty early in the first hour, certainly up to lunch, if they can contain to, let's say, 3 and over and pick up 3 wickets. Maybe they're still in it. So, it's a brilliant spell of bowling from Mitchell Johnson. He didn't swing it today, which was quite surprising.
Disappointing overall,
exactly.
I thought.
When he swings it, he's a danger to any batsman, especially right-handers, as you know, left-arm bowler yourself. So, I think in that sense, he's been disappointing for the Australian bowling attack. But tomorrow's another chance for him, and we've seen what's been going on here today. I'm not saying it will happen tomorrow, but you're dealing with top-class cricketers, and the Aussies will sit down there tonight, and they'll come back firing tomorrow morning, no doubt.
Well, South Africa will certainly target that first hour as well tomorrow, not to lose any wickets. Well, thank you very much, Peter Kirsten. We'll catch up with you again tomorrow. Well, folks, that is the way the game situation is at the moment.